That's what we got to see. Bans starting out. We saw KT often banning Xin away from Lucid, so might just follow that trend going here. I feel like we have a lot of data on the bans that come out. Pantheon was another thing they were banning often against Lucid, so they may just go heavy on the jungle bans. For Dplus, it's probably going to be like Vi, Yone, Rumble are things that they really lean towards banning away from KT. Nico being banned away from Beryl in this situation, that is one of the picks that gave them trouble in that game 1 that they did lose against Dplus.
Yeah, not a bad idea. There's the Rumble ban.
Yone, you mean? Sorry.
Yes. I don't know. I was looking into the future. You know,
Oh,
I was already seeing
he's
ban
seeing
number
like
3.
The levels of the Talia. So banning 2 of the picks they actually lost to in that game 1, which was the Talia and the Nico. The Azir comes out, so I think Rumble just going to be the first pick. The Azir obviously makes sense with the Talia band. That leaves the Azir really in a strong position. And then we're going to get Rumble into Gwen, which I think Perfect is really happy. He's been really confident on this Rumble pick. And Rumble into Gwen, you're really happy to take that one. And it's probably just going to be Gwen Xin Zhao, I would think, in this situation. The double circles, the Venn diagram combination.
Yeah, it's a good idea, especially in a Rumble. You can oftentimes get a lot of value with your circles into his equalizer specifically. Obviously, if he gets up in your face, will be a little bit of a different story. But not a bad idea, especially because Lucid is a very strong Xin Zhao player. Pantheon already bans.
I guess Poppy is the other alternative you could take. Actually looking towards the Trundle instead. Something we did see pretty high priority on recently. Now over to KT. Could go like Wukong Ari in this situation. Cuz being really solid on that Wukong pick. We'll see what they opt to go for, what they lean towards.
Yeah, it's a lot of mobility in the Trundle, which is generally what you would like.
Yeah, I think the thing with the Xin Zhao is obviously, you know, we can't see him. If you get like the jump on the Trundle and knock him up, it's pretty powerful. Actually, going for the Jarvan in this situation. Jarvan Rise, I'm not sure how I feel about the Jarvan this early, given the fact you don't know what you're dealing with in terms of mid-AD carry. You could just end up dealing with like mobile picks where the Jarvan value is pretty low.
Yeah.
Like obviously Jarvan Rumble feels good, but like you don't know that you're going to be playing, you know, I don't know how good Jarvan is into, like you see, I don't think he's going to play Castin or Talon, but those are the sort of picks where there's not that much value.
Talon, you say?
Well, you'd hover it. You know, I'm not saying he's going to pick it, but you know what?
I've never really heard anyone say it that way.
Oh, well, sorry.
Generally we say Talon, but...
Sorry for being British.
Talon?
Talon.
Is that what you guys say? Talons?
I just throw out
got large talons.
This is a problem with whatever, man.
I was just curious. Like I wasn't trying to make fun of it. I just was genuinely curious why you said it that way.
Look, I said it how I said it. Galio picked up into the Rise, so matching some of that Roman pressure. And again, a pick that, yes, you can trap him in the Cataclysm, but I don't think he really cares too much about it. But I feel like the thing with the composition from Dplus, very heavy melee. I'm interested to see what AD carry comes to. Ezreal has to be banned. I'm just going to say, without a doubt. Senna's going to be the first ban. The second ban kind of has to be Ezreal, but then Alistar's left open, which feels kind of bad.
Yeah, Alistar feels very good already into what KT has, and it's just a fantastic R4 pick, as we've talked about all season. KT kind of leaving themselves in a weird spot with this. The Jarvan early, especially, you know, when it's fearless and the enemy can take away picks, and
as strong as the Senna is, and as good as the Senna would be with his comp, it's also like you have a Jarvan. Like surely Jarvan is like what you want into Senna. So I don't know. And here's the choice: are you going to ban Alistar? Are you going to ban Ezreal? I just think, like, you know, when you committed this sort of composition, I wouldn't want to play into an AD carry who can just zip out of the Cataclysm when you're trying to play into him. But you know, we'll see what they opt to go for. They go for the Alistar, and we'll see. Do Dplus just say, hey, we can pick Ezreal into this and outrange that comp, not really be threatened too much? Yeah. They go in a different direction.
I mean, the only other thing would be like, you know, a Kai'Sa, but then you're struggling in the lane. The Lucian obviously can dash out of it, but...
They're so short range, though. I feel like it's not the play.
Nick take Braum away as well if you pick it on R4.
Yeah, I think this was a bit of a mistake. Aiming such a good Ezreal as well. I think this is a little bit of a dangerous one.
Varus Braum.
You could go for that here, but they could go some like Lucian Melio, I guess.
Yeah.
But I mean, Lucian Nami, even that. We've seen Lucian Nami played a decent amount recently with Lucian coming back in the meta. I personally don't rate it that high. I also think playing Nami into here, I wouldn't recommend it personally.
Yeah.
I also think it's not something I would expect Beryl to lean towards. You could go like, even like Varus Renata if you expect.
Yeah.
Like, Braum to come through, you'd be super comfortable with that.
Sure. They do have a lot of guys that want to rush forward, and the Rise doesn't do very well into Braum as well.
Yeah, into that comp, in that short range composition, like I just think Renata, I don't know what Dplus could do into it. Like, you already have engaged from your comp. Looks like they'll just go for the Braum themselves, though. They're happy with that. This cool to lock it in.
Yeah, I mean, I think either or. I think both of these champs get a lot of value into what DK is showing. So now it's up to Beryl, who has the final pick. Kind of funny, there's no swaps needed in this entire draft, actually. We just pick from top to bottom, and that's the way it is in this meta.
Maybe they forgot that you could swap, Maybe that's...
Melio.
We'll see what he goes for. Yeah.
Something like that. Either way, guys, we're ready to jump into game number 1. It looks like here the pause is gone. Let's hop onto the Rift. All right, here we go. Game 1 of this best of 5.
Okay, until we get any other word, I'm going to assume that Peter's keyboard broke and he's gone into clicking mode.
Oh no, he even has unsealed spellbook.
Maximum clicking.
Wow, there are 4 people on KT that have Flash on D. It's a little bit disappointing. D for disappointing, specifically.
Yeah, that's not... Have they always been that way? I feel like...
Yeah.
I've said this stat before, but Korea is the server with the highest number of people with Flash on F.
Makes sense.
You know why?
That is where it belongs, so...
You know why?
Why?
That's what Faker has.
Oh. Well, it's also where it belongs, so,
yeah,
I think...
Flash, not Blash.
Yeah.
Come on, KT, step it. Oh, hit it with a snipe?
Yeah, that was pretty
Winter's
slick.
Bite? Clicking mode going well, I see.
He's really good at this game.
I do want to say we have no information that he is in clicking mode. I just thought it was funny.
But we don't have information that he's not in clicking mode, so it could be either.
Maybe he's always been on clicking mode this whole time. We don't know. We've never asked.
We've never confirmed. I've actually never watched his first-person view either, so...
Maybe we can get a first-person view of this game so we can verify whether he's clicking mode or not.
Yeah, it's very important to know, I'd say.
It's the information we need.
Yeah.
It's often not the support point of view, I feel, when it comes to the point of view moments in a game.
Sometimes it is. Generally, if they're playing Alistair,
yeah,
we'll see a support point of view where they get some sick headbutt pulverize combo. This lane seems to be going pretty well framing and Beryl, but it's not like Duckdom and Peter aren't farming well under the turret. They're keeping up. They have only lost a single minion so far. Can he hit it? Yes, he did. Looks like he missed 2. Oh, no. It was just a little bit slow on the update. But, yeah, he's doing pretty well. Aiming hits level 3 and goes in for some damage.
Yep. Good trades coming in, and that's kind of the problem with this lane matchup. Playing for...
Uh-oh. Perfect. Might have to flash this one with the pillar that is surely to come down here in a moment, as there it does go. They commit into that, as now the TP comes in. It's so very slow at this level, so basically doesn't do anything.
Oh, man, that TP. VDD definitely thought he'd get there faster, but like the TP started channeling, and then like you look at the minimap, and he's like, okay, any minute. Any minute.
Yeah. Well, no flash, and Jarvan is here, but Perfect's so low, I don't know. As we get the flash coming down, but Lucid doesn't care. It's First Blood going over to DK. That goes to Xiu, and now Cuz on the run has to flash himself. A big snip goes in as well just to push him out, and Lucid sticks around, gets huge value out of this Trundle early.
Absolute disaster in this situation. You know, Perfect stays around. They can't win the 2v2 playing Jarvan Rumble when Rumble's that low on HP. Lucy just goes in and chomps him. And yeah, a bit of a disaster. They try and save Perfect, which sends it backfiring. And now in a losing position in this matchup. Bot lane also in a losing position just from the matchup itself. Not a good start for KT, considering especially they're on blue side in this game 1.
Yeah, I mean, I just think the Trundle, especially early on, with the first pick Rumble, you really make it so that Cuz cannot pick Sejuani in this position, which, you know, there was no Yone, but Rumble Sejuani pretty good as well. And so we get this weird Jarvan pick, and we're already seeing that the Trundle is getting a lot more value early on in this one. Any kind of, you know, terrain-altering ability is always going to be really strong. You think about Event Horizon from Veigar, one of the strongest in the game, but the Pillar as well.
I also just think it's one of the, you know, we sometimes have the Jarvan where, like, you jump in and you just get, like, one shot, right? We've seen that before from Jarvan. This is going to happen even more so in this game. Like, you're just going to jump in, get ulted by Trundle, and just die. So, not going to be fun, I think, for Cuz in this game, but we'll see what he can do.
Do you think he'll build an arm guard in this game?
Maybe. Maybe. We've seen that on the support Jarvan.
Yeah.
A lot. The Zhonya's build. I don't know if we'll get it here. But so far, a lot of pressure in favor of Dplus. 600 gold ahead already. A level 6 picked up for Shiru, so Perfect having to just farm with the harpoons from a distance.
Yeah. At least Rumble can do that. But your first pick, Rumble, not feeling too good about this game so far. Still very early on, but it's not the best feeling, of course, to give the Gwen, which was the response pick, First Blood, on over. Here's the level 6. Perfect goes in. He's trying to take this one, actually, as he's just going to get solo killed. Perfect cannot take that. He was still level 5.
I'm not sure what's really going on here.
What did he mean by that?
Yeah, Perfect trying to, like, proc his overheat and thinking, you know, I can trade here. I can maybe turn this around, get some damage back. Like, I'll lose the trade, but at least I'll get some... No. You'll just die. Especially considering... Oh, looking for Showmaker. I don't think they even come close to killing him, though. They will get the flash. I guess maybe scared of BDD with a follow-up route. But, yeah, like, he has ult.
It's just like, yeah, I think I got him.
Like, Perfect, who's normally been so good at Rumble, and also was the POM, the very deserved POM in the last matchup between these two. And now, I don't know what to say about that play. That was just very, very rough from the KT top laner. So he's now in a massive deficit in the top lane.
So you mentioning that he's probably going to have to carry this game. And 2-0 on Gwen at 7.5 minutes. You know, I've seen Gwens fall very far behind, but not a lot of Gwens that get this fed this early.
Yeah.
So he's going to be having a great time in this game. Seems like Duckdom and Peter have come back a bit in this lane. The wall's going to be held up for the calling. Both junglers are here. And in goes Cuz, trying to turn on to Lucid, who does drop the subjugate, but no flash for him just yet, so easily turned onto, as now aiming as well. Gonna have to flash and dash away from this one, but he still gets sniped down by Duckdom, and BDD is still here. He's just gonna take Beryl for a walk down the lane. And Beryl has flash, but there's really no reason for him to flash until the very moment to force BDDs, and the follow flash comes through for the easy pickup.
Really well played there by KT. Just when the game was starting to feel maybe a little bit doomed, they answer back with a big play. And the tracking, the timing on Lucid's flash, flawless there. It was seconds away from being up. You can see it's up right now. Getting the Cataclysm down, punishing him, the flash not being available, and then cleaning up all those kills with a great move with a Realm Warp from BDD, resulting in a massive influx of gold for KT there. They still have this Gwen problem to deal with, but the rest of the map in a great spot now. And we'll see the initial play comes. The culling soaked a lot by Peter here. And then they move in on this play on Lucid. Again, you can see Flash not quite available yet. So they commit the Cataclysm here. Manage to finish him off. And then Peter gets the Q. Ult doesn't quite connect because of the Flash, but the piercing arrow does. And then Beryl gets routed, trying to find an angle to flash away. Doesn't quite find it because the follow flash from BDD is just beautifully played. Now 2 kills onto BDD, 1 kill onto Duckdom. Exactly who you'd want to find the money on.
Yeah, and as you mentioned, it's just the Gwen now. I mean, Shiu is ahead, but he's not ahead as much as BDD is on Showmaker. So the rise is going to be huge, and that is going to be a problem here for DK. I do wonder if he's going to delay his rod at all, because he should be able to get it very fast, because he got 2 grubs already, and now he wants to group for the Dragon. I don't know if they're going to get here on time, but actually looks like they might, as both of the bottom laners of KT are here at the same time. But Lucid's going in. He is going to commit for the Dragon at least, as Peter going to hop on over. But now the fight is going to go in favor of KT. It looks like going to get the flash out here, as Peter now getting pretty low. And even an ult to be thrown out. KT now in a weird spot. Showmaker wants to get in with the taunt. He's going to catch both of them. And the follow-up here from Lucid, but the phase rush comes through, and KT do just get away.
Yeah, I think KT ultimately happy they're able to get out on that one. They also got Lucid's flash. They traded the Cataclysm for that. Still, Dplus got the Dragon. You know, still favored play for them overall. It looked a little bit scary at points there. Peter could have gone down. BDD nearly got caught out. So KT, they get a summoner advantage and disengage in the situation. Could have definitely gone worse. Now, Duckdom in trouble, though.
Oh, is he? He's got a lot of teammates here. Peter is pretty low himself, but now Showmaker looking for the follow-up as engage Galio, not sure about that one. And now BDD coming in, the TP much faster this time from the Rumble, but he doesn't seem to have equalizer. So Perfect just comes here, and so does Shiu. And now a bunch of needles coming through. A very awkward fight from both teams. But now Peter and Duckdom taunted in the front line, and they get taken down. Showmaker very low, but the flash from Shiu to just assassinate the Jarvan. And that's another couple of kills for the Gwen.
They're so low. No equalizer available, though. Vivek looking, but he's so scary.
I mean, he is incredibly aggressive on this one. You can see the fans are on a nice edge here, but the pillar comes down. Perfect. He's got flash, but he's not going to make any crazy moves.
He's like, guys, please just wait around until my ult's up. I'm begging. And you see the difference in the plays when Shiwu's there. Just night and day when this Gwen is about, the difference it makes. You know, ends up being a scrappy one. Peter's very low in HP, and Duckdom unfortunately does get clipped by the ult here. But really, the play still looks fairly favored towards KT until Shiwu turns up. And look at the confidence this Gwen has. Just charges in. Almost it feels like solo leading the charge. The ult getting so much value here. Showmaker follows up with the taunt. The damage is done, 2 down. And then Cuz gets just bursted by Shiwu there.
Yeah, actually takes his head off and ends up being just 3 kills for DK. And 2 more of them went to Shiu. And now some vision here onto the Gwen. We're going to get the taunt down. There's the knockup from the Jarvan, but we got 3 people in here keeping Shiu around. This is going to be a big shutdown for whoever gets it. It goes over to Cuz, who is going to get a massive influx of gold.
Yep, I mean, you're glad it didn't go to Peter. Ideally, would have gone to BDD, but, you know, you got the shutdown. It's a good influx of gold. Good pick on a Shiwu. Ultimately, Shiwu really has to be the one to carry this game at the moment. It feels like for Dplus, and getting a pick there, massive for KT. Gold is about even, though. And Dplus do have that Dragon in pocket, but it is KT with those 3 grubs. So the game's still feeling very, very even right now. But you see Duckdom went for that first item, Serpent's Fang, which
Interesting.
Yeah, not rating that high in this situation.
There are some shields.
Does Milio have shields? Yes.
I mean, it's a lethality item.
Like, is it the worst spot to build it? No. Does Beryl have shields? Yes. Are you going to get some decent value? Yeah, for sure. But, like, I don't know.
More than just Yomu's, or...
I feel like the thing is as well, the the movements between the Youmuus can be really useful at evading like the short range composition of Dplus. But you know, it's not. I think Serpent's Fang eventually would have been fine. I just think first item, I'm not sure you're getting that much crazy value on it. But you know, we'll see. We'll see how much value he gets, regardless. I think there's also like, as far as shield champions go, there's some champions who shield a lot more than like Milio. You know, there's some champions who do a ton of shielding.
Yeah. Although we haven't seen Janna in a long time.
Yeah. Even like Ivan. Ivan's shields are massive, right? If there was like an Ivan on the enemy team, I actually think this would be a lot more understandable.
Yeah. What happened to Ivan? We were seeing him a little bit, and then I think he got nerfed, and then he's just gone now.
Maybe pros got bored of playing him, you know?
That's fair. I mean, it's not the most action-packed champion, I'll say.
I
think you can have fun with it. But
I think probably nerfs usually the thing that takes a champion like that out of the meta.
Engage Rom, looking to go in. We got Cuz nearby, but Lucid's here as well. Look at a posture for this Drake. DK got the first one, so KT definitely want to get the second one.
Yeah.
It's actually very good timing here from aiming when the Braum is away from the Varus.
I do want to note, she would just hit level 11, so that level 2 ultimate on the Gwen. But actually, if you look, despite being 1,100 gold up, look at the item difference between top laners. Like, I think she was sitting on a lot of gold, so not really in a position to capitalize on that advantage. Looks like we're just going to get creative objectives.
Yeah, I mean, I think that's fine, especially when the first couple of Drakes are Infernal and Hextech. You just know that your chances of getting a fantastic soul are decreased, so you're like, we don't necessarily need this dragon. We can take the Rift Herald, use it for tempo. And as we can see now, it is a Chemtech soul. So, yes, there are some shields, as we mentioned before. But it's not going to be huge value. And so DK just say, we'll take the Rift Herald instead. They even get a teleport out of Peter. He has Unsealed Spellbook, so really not the highest value. But yeah, they do a nice amount of damage to them at turret.
Yeah, it's really low now. Really easy to find an angle to finish it off. But not going to finish it off right now. And kind of just playing in a wide map state. And what's nice is they found an angle where Showmaker's up against Perfect. And we saw so much Galio into Rumble being like the lane matchup, being a counter matchup. They've set it up in a way where, you know, Showmaker gets to play into the Rumble and have that counter matchup despite not having laned against each other early on. So he's having a fun time.
Yeah. Especially with Perfect in the position he's in. Does have the first item, as you mentioned, but not the greatest. This is going to be the turret to go down. They're actually looking for the kill here as well, as in comes Cuz, but just for peel, essentially, not really sticking around very long. And Peter just running in a straight line, as I think he had the door. Not really sure what's going on here. Trying to bait them for a fight with BDD coming in from the left side.
Using his health as a resource, you know?
Yeah.
Really.
He has Locket.
Yeah. Really testing the limits of his health, I
feel like we're doing that a lot in this game.
Yeah. Equali's going to come out a little defensively here just to clear that wave. Aiming going for the rapid fire cannon here on the Lucian. Not something we see that often as much. A bit more like around the burst rotation. Playing a bit more, I guess, for like mid priority and like the bits of burst that comes out from the Lucian. Often we see like the Navori, so you have like the lower cooldown, so you can just sort of like spell weave.
Yeah.
Oh, cause setting a trap maybe.
Who's trapping who, I wonder? It looks like a 4v4 for now, but Showmaker is coming up. TP not available for Perfect, so he did just back away. Seemed to be the right choice, especially with Perfect kind of just in a hole in bottom lane, just clearing waves, not really doing anything at this moment in time.
I honestly think KT pretty close to a point where they could feel really strong. You know, BDD's nearly got his Ceres finished. We just got the Ghost Blade picked up for Duckdam. If I was them, I'd feel pretty confident looking for a fight angle soon. We just got the Ceres coming now for BDD. And they are looking for a fight.
They're going to catch Barrel. Kind of awkward spot for him as in goes Cuz and immediately flashes away. As that's the other part of Jarvan. You go in and Galio just ults on top. So
okay, when I said looking for a fight, I should have said looking for a. They should have been looking for a good fight. Cuz kind of jumping in by himself into like 3 people. Not
Plus
really.
Galio.
Yeah. Little deep. Little very deep.
He needs Zhonya's.
No, I don't think Zhonya's resolves that.
Well, if you go in, then when the Galio ults, you just press your Zhonya's.
Yeah, and then you just die after Zhonya's, I think, is the outcome of that situation.
Alrighty, well, we got another pause here.
Yeah, because like I pressed my Zhonya's button, you know, it didn't go off.
Yeah, we have had players do that before.
Yeah.
I definitely use this item that I don't have.
Yeah. Well, I think maybe trying to force Aiming's flash, and Aiming was like, I'm not flashing here. I don't need to. You need to.
Yeah, I mean, he did pick Lucian for a reason.
Yeah.
Still pretty interesting that he didn't pick...
no.
Oh, it's okay, I've had this happen to me before, where the hot pack explodes. As you can see on the right, all the little... I think it's like charcoal or something. I'm not really sure what it is, but it comes out of the hot pack and it goes everywhere, and it's like sand.
Oh, man.
It just gets everywhere.
It's coarse and irritating.
Exactly.
Yeah.
So Aiming's going to have to clean that up, and that is what our pause is about. Pretty straightforward one here. Legend leave the sign. Personally.
We're getting a little sneak in from Peter. He's just placing a ward, though. Just politely, just respectfully placing some wards. They did get pinged, though.
We've had like a lot of weird skirmishes early on, but the teams are still very even. And now it's Chemtech Soul. I don't know if we're going to get a huge amount of action in this mid-game.
This game is feeling pretty... It's slowed down a lot. It feels like the teams are kind of trying to find little advantages.
You missed the cannon. Yeah.
But there's also a lot of summoners available, which I feel like favors Dplus in this situation. You know, you want people flashless when you're playing Jarvan.
Yeah. But he himself doesn't have flash.
Yeah.
But he can at least still flag and drag and press R and maybe catch someone.
It's also horrible playing Jarvan and Emilio, because like his Q just completely negates your flag and drag so effectively. If you like try and use your EQ onto Emilio is so good at just shutting it down. It's like an easier to use Janet Tornado.
Yeah.
Honestly, against that. Because obviously Janet Tornado you have to press twice. And Emilio you just press Q. And it looks like they're not even going to get a look in on this dragon.
Yeah, I mean, I think that's fine. The bigger issue would have been if they fought over it and died, because you're risking a lot, actually, because the Otacon is there. It's not just about the one Drake, but if you lose a big fight, you're losing the Drake and you're losing Otacon, and the game really begins to snowball out of control.
Yeah, but you're giving over feats of strength, which is unfortunate.
Yeah.
And I feel like they were in a position where they were pretty strong, you know? Like, I look at Lucian's items, and he's on the Essence Reaver Rapid Fire Spike, which never feels that inspiring. Like, I feel like Kate... Oh, Peter.
Yeah, he's in a really awkward spot here. He is Braum with Flash available, though, and Smite. He is going to get Cuz to block, and he throws his ult in, and now the counter engage comes in. The Q from the Melio not really able to stop the R, and that just gets the flash here out of Lucid. But now the follow-up from Perfect, looking to get in there with his own flash, but kind of another awkward engage. That's really been the tone of this entire game, is fights like that. It almost feels like both teams are almost scared to fight each other.
That was such... Perfect TP's in, flashes over the wall, harpoons Lucid, runs back and forth, and leaves. My job here is done. They do have a ward here on the Atacant. It's going to be started up. Cuz is in the vicinity. He is on a ward.
Everybody backed.
Yeah, TP coming in from BDD.
I mean, they're going to have to get in here real quick. We do have Realm Warp, but BDD is here already. Cuz here with his Smite available. A lot of bouncing, and the Equalizer to come down. And now the turn onto this Otacon, and it's just given over. And wait, what was that?
Was that a Mega Cone?
I think so. Did someone just hit the Mega Cone?
I think he went for the steal.
Oh, okay. I mean, it was very late, though. Maybe he didn't have vision. I don't know. It just looks so weird and almost like so half-hearted.
I mean, BDD did so much damage there. 'Cause the thing is, they're getting shredded by Atakan, and then he's just bouncing off it.
Yeah.
So he's doing so much damage, and then the equalizer comes in, and Lucian's like, I'm ready.
Yeah, he definitely tries to steal.
Yeah, but he's so late. BDD's like, thanks, buddy. I'll take that one. So what started as a bit of an underwhelming play for KT ends up coming back pretty big. And the thing is, BDD got his Rod of Ages level up. They then got a ton of XP from the pedals. BDD is about to hit 16. Showmaker just hit level 14.
Yeah.
So BDD is now just the strongest champion in the game.
Against an almost full melee comp.
Yeah.
As Rise.
Yeah. Well,
with a really good front line.
Yeah.
Braum and Jarvan.
That happened quickly.
That was just the weirdest Otacon fight. That was just really throwing me for a loop.
The thing is, it's like sometimes when you're on Rise, you know, you're trying to bounce and it's hard to find some, like, you know, you're trying to spread. You need to hit someone so it bounces to the others. The Atakan is just that perfect target to bounce off, and it's shredding everyone's resistances. It's like the ideal scenario. Like BDD, he's not quite at his max, like his biggest spike, because he's about to hit Rabadons. He just bought that Rod though, so he's a little bit away, but he just hit level 16. He is so strong right now.
He's dealing more than a lethality Varus.
Docdam is about to hit Manamune as well.
Yeah.
So like KT are very strong, they're about to get stronger.
Yeah, and they're going to go for a fight right now. Not sure about the timing here, as now Cuz going to go in. He's quite low, gets burst down by aiming. And now Peter and the gang trying to get out.
Oh
no! It's BDD in the middle of it, just going to flash to his Realm Warp and go straight into Shiu's open arms as he just takes down BDD, gets the shutdown as well. Talking about weird fights, we're just bouncing all over the place. Even Jonas Strong can't keep up.
Guys, patience is a virtue. You know, it's been said. And I think KT could have afforded to wait a little bit of time for some spikes. But it looks like they're not going to wait now. They're going to try and fight them off this Baron. I don't think they really have a choice. There are some low health bars.
Yeah, Showmaker isn't here yet either. No flash, or no TP, no ults as well. Shiu taking a decent amount of damage, and now Perfect is going to try to get Lucid, but gets taken out.
That's so low. I don't think... Shiu?
Yeah, he's just going for a walk.
Well, they stopped him doing the Baron. So, ultimately, as much as that's a win for Dplus, it's not as much as a win as it could be. And this play, I think a little bit... They're like, look, BDD's level 16. We are so strong. Let's go. Cuz does that Jarvan thing where you go in and you instantly die, basically. And then BDD, he's like, I can make it to the blast code. He had flash, by the way. He chose not to use it and then had to use it later. I think he should have just flashed for the blast code. Didn't, and then ended up dying for it. And then here, Doctam does all he can to try and just get some poke down. What was really unfortunate is his piercing arrow didn't actually hit here on Shiu. If you watch, the Shroud moved just in time to keep him alive. But they managed to force him off the Baron. And now we're setting up for Dragon again. The Manamune's finished, the Rabadons is not for BDD. So Varus doing a lot of damage. BDD still very strong, but not quite as strong as he could be.
Yeah. The poke is going to be insane, as you see that aiming already chunked down. At least he's got Melio with him, but...
Yeah, aiming does have IE now, so he's pretty strong too.
Yeah. Just feels like a lot of control is given to KT in this moment. Showmaker trying to land a taunt onto somebody, but everybody backs away. Perfect only a level down on Shiu, who has not hit level 16 yet, so that's going to be another one to look out for. Perfect doing a good job, I'd say, from behind, as he got put very far behind in this game early on. DK still with the gold lead, but Otacon here for KT, so again, a very even game in this one. Peter going to hold up the door. Will we get a decisive engage from either side? I don't know. Well, that's the culling, and Peter is kind of half blocking it, so there's the poke coming out from the Lucian, as he says he can do it as well.
Yeah, they don't have the sustain that the Melio has to get them back up. They don't have red buff, which will help a bit.
Okay, Cuz fly drags forward, and now not in the best spot. We do have the Realm Warp coming in. That is going to get them away, but the damage has been done. And I think DK can kind of just take it from here.
I don't know, the red buff is giving a bit of sustain. It's not a ton. A lot of cooldowns have been burned from Dplus. Maybe they can reapproach.
There's no equalizer. So Perfect just kind of shooting at them with some rockets. We get the engage from Cuz as he's just going to flag and drag away. That was onto a Gwen. And now Xiu, he's got the Zhonya's as he will go Golden, but he has to flash away as well. And now a bit of damage going in on a barrel, and he just gets blown away. And now a big taunt does come in, but the damage follow-up is not quite there. And Xiu also going to get burst to smithereens. Tavares doing insane amounts of damage, and so is BDD to everybody who walks up to him. So 2 kills to KT, and they'll get the dragon.
These fights are so close, so intense, so tight, but KT managed to come out ahead. The Gwenel, I feel like, represents so much power in these fights. The culling as well helps really overcome the range disadvantages, and those not being available, I think, really lost a lot of power for Dplus there. Now moving on to this, there is a Mega Comb for... Oh, the pillar! Guys, no! Not like this!
Oh, he just got dunked on by Lucid! And now you see DK, they want to fight this one. He just chomps Peter in the face. Lucid taking a... Okay. Yeah, BDD is just insane.
Oh, the knock-up!
The knock-up from the Baron! This is the weirdest game I've cast in a long time. We got TP coming in. Mega disengage cone.
Oh, aiming might look. The Realm Orb's going to come through. He's out.
Yeah, he's just going to do it for safety. I think he was okay, but...
Wow. You know
better
what?
Safe than sorry.
Lucid had that sick interrupt, and then the Baron said, yo, I can do that too. He's learning. The Baron learned from Lucid and literally just replicated the play. That was crazy. That was crazy. But yeah, I think the lack of the long-range tools of the culling and the Gwen ultimate, I think really meant that, like, even though Dplus are trying, they can't approach that easily. And BDD kind of just walked forwards, and Dplus had to back away, and we're just getting poked down.
And the bounces, too.
Yeah. And, like, when Xiu steps up, he's getting peppered down. Aiming can't really walk up. He's still short-ranged. It was really hard in this situation. And then here, so Cuz goes over to hit the blast cone, and the pillar timing is so good, because he interrupts here. That is not easy to do.
Yeah.
Like, I can't even blame Cuz too much. That is just really well played from Lucid. And then watch Showmaker. It comes a little bit later, but he goes for a dash. It's after the ultimate. Watch, look, he dashes and he gets interrupted by the tentacle from Baron. It's crazy that happened. That sort of play happened twice, and one of them was the Baron. You guys, this is game 1. It's a best of 5. I don't even...
It's exactly what we needed for KT versus DK again.
It's peak. It's absolute peak.
And we don't know who's going to win this game.
Oh, there's no clear indicators. There's no clear indicators at all. We do have the Rabdons finally came in for BDD. BDD is so strong right now.
For me, I'm team BDD on this one. I think KT have the advantage. Like, we've seen many times DK trying to engage, which is very difficult, by the way.
Wait, you think KT have the advantage? Oh, no.
Yes.
Oh,
yes,
no.
I do.
Oh, no.
Well, they're going to go in on a Showmaker here as he is isolated and burnt to a crisp by more than just fire.
Yep. Good Realm will play, finding a pick there. It's now 4v5. Cuz is looking for an angle.
Yeah, he likes to go for the Scuttle Crab instead, and it just gets smited away. So now he's just going to get over the wall to his team, as now Xiu going in. He's getting huge value with the needles. Perfect, as everybody scrambles. And going in on the BDD now, 3v1. He is running so fast, trying to get to the disengage cone. He's not going to get there. And actually, Lucid kind of engages with it as Duckdom hit it. A very messy situation, and KT are not getting the good part of it. As Xiu, he did so much damage in this fight, and he will get the final kill here as well. Looks like Cuz and Perfect get out.
You know, I knew it was doomed as soon as you said you think KT have an advantage.
Yeah.
As soon as you said those words, writing was on the wall.
They couldn't even win 5v4.
Yeah. So they catch our Showmaker here, which seems like a good pick. But unfortunately, they end up in this position where they're kind of corralled in by Dplus. Xiu just gets so much value, and BDD is very split. He tries to move in to help, but then they just run him down. Ult him, his resistances get shredded, and he just doesn't have enough damage to cut through this trundle in his face. And then they kind of just charge through, and again, this is a Thaldi Varus. When a Lucian is running forwards and there's a Gwen in the other direction, there's not much you can really do to cut through them.
Even barrier.
Thanks, Brendan Valdez.
Yeah, no problem.
If you're a KT fan,
I just wanted to make it interesting.
You know who to blame.
Yeah. Well, it's only game 1. And, you know, DK have the advantage now. What will they do with this Baron? They're not going to be able to get a soul, but maybe soul point in 20 seconds. But aiming is really strong. We saw that Lucid quite strong himself. Showmaker kind of feels like he's just playing bodyguard in this game. And obviously the one man you have to mention is Shu. As nobody really matches him. Perfect hasn't been able to this entire game.
Yeah. Lily and Shu are both just pushing in the sides, but Shu kills towers so much quicker. And speed of killing towers, Lucid and aiming also do that really fast. So a lot of pressure being put down here. KT might just have to give up their mid inhibitor. And a TP comes back. He got that top tier too, but now moving in to defend. They find an angle here when Dplus are kind of inside of the base walls. That's where they could find a good fight, but Dplus respect that, back away. They wait for Shiwu to get some pressure here. And aiming can walk up and hit the inhibitor.
They need a wave. You see Shiwu sticking around, just keeping the bottom ones buffed, just to put the pressure on that makes KT rotate down. And so they do move in and take the inhibitor. It's just the mid inhibitor. It's not the end of the world, but it's definitely DK getting a pretty large gold lead at this point in time.
Yeah, 5,000 gold ahead now. We've had it's never been more than 2,000 so far this game really, and now with that Baron with his big gold lead really pushing it ahead. Shiwu getting chunked a little bit, but Peter taking a lot of damage in return. No shield now.
Yeah, no door, and yeah, they're just able to burst him down. Perfect again. He's got his equalizer, but there's no really good spot to use it in. Aiming does take a huge amount of damage, but just dashes over the equalizer. Shu and Showmaker still in there, wants to get that kill on a Perfect, and he will. He gets in, and he gets out. And, ooh, nice interrupt there from Cuz. Gonna save Duckdom's life. And that means that maybe Showmaker in a rough spot, as it looks like DK do not want to continue fighting this. But now BDD is making the fight happen as they go in. They're looking for more. The flash from Cuz and makes a couple more kills. And of course, this game had to go this way. Shu in the mist, and BDD steps in. Cuz takes the kill. It's an ace for KT.
Just when Dplus get the biggest gold lead we've seen so far this game, KT managed to find a fight. Some great play, some great mechanics from KT there. They'll be able to pick up this dragon. It'll only be their third, but yeah, this was crazy. I feel like Duckdom did so much getting damage down here. Gets a lot of poke on it aiming. The ult comes down too. We do see Showmaker pick up Perfect here. Then BDD as well, getting this poke down. This interrupt comes in from Cuz. We see this continuation. The Cataclysm comes down to Showmaker. They focus him down. And then we see BDD burst down, flashes in to finish off. Goes for the ult. 3 members commit for the play. The flash follow, though, from Cuz was beautiful on aiming.
You got 1,100 gold from aiming? Did I see that right? That was crazy.
A lot of money.
He said, I don't have teleport. Right at the end. And now BDD is 5,000 gold ahead of Showmaker, who arguably in that play kind of baited his team into that fight. You know, he was flashing in, trying to make another play, trying to extend it, and
I mean, okay,
I can't really blame him.
Showmaker is nearly 3 items, and BDD is fake full build. He has Seeker's Arm Guard, which is it's basically like you have Zhonya's.
Did BDD die to the dragon? No way, right?
No, he did finish it. But it's you know, you have the active of Zhonya's, you don't have all the stats, but it feels like he's full build. He is so strong right now, and Duckdom's also really strong.
Yeah, and the game after that play, it's kind of tied up again.
Yeah, 1,000 gold in it, which is nothing at this point. This game has been insane.
I saw the Rebel Baron power play was 3K, and then it went down to 92.
What's insane to me is that aiming is 2.5k gold ahead of Duckdom, and it just doesn't feel that way.
Yeah.
You know, it definitely feels like BDD and Shu have massive leads, but the AD carry lead feels... it just doesn't feel real. I mean, it's obviously aiming has expensive crit items, but Duckdom's still doing so much. I think that's the one lane where the gold lead doesn't really represent the impact they're having right now, but yeah. Oh!
Ooh, the pillar and the calling does quite a lot. Looks like Peter not able to get on over there. Now we got the engage though, Cuz goes in, goes out, and BDD is still pushing. He is not joining this fight yet. He's looking for an angle maybe with this TP, but they're stopping backs and he's just pushing the base. Lucid gonna get caught out here.
Showmaker doesn't have TP as well!
Oh, he might just look to try to end the game if nobody can back. It's not like they have Baron empowered recalls.
The
Nobody
Equalizer
can back.
stopping them.
Nobody can back.
They're just chasing them down. What a play!
BDD's just gonna end the game. Unless you can somehow just flash on over and run to him.
Wait, they tried to TP, but it got cancelled. The TP got cancelled.
It doesn't work. We got the flash coming in from Siu as he realm warps in with the BDD. He ends the game. Game 1 goes to KT.